Okay, so we need to talk about Dortmund PSG. This is one of the best games in the Champions League so far. It was definitely better than Bayern Madrid. Even that game was crazy too. Champions League has just been on fire. If you want to be honest, this was a 4-3 game. So many missed chances, so many free headers. PSG hit the post like 3 times, I think. Dortmund had 13 shots and 4 on target, compared to PSG's 14 and 3 on target. So it's very balanced. The one fulcrum goal won it all. But there was one controversy regarding a penalty, a little push on the back. Dortmund didn't get it. I can see why it would be a penalty. I can see also why it's not given. To me, Fulkrug scored, but he also missed a couple of very important headers. I thought Brandt was amazing. The amount of passes this guy put on a dime. He had a couple chances too. I thought he was one of the most influential players in the game. But the two stars for me, Sancho and the guy that's not going to be mentioned a lot, Adeyemi. I'll talk about Sancho later, but Adeyemi, what a player this guy is. Reminds me a lot of Rodrigo from Real Madrid. The way he dribbles, the way he holds onto the ball, how fast and physical he is. It's also his size. They're very similar players. I thought he was fantastic on the left side today. He felt like Kante on a wing. The amount of times this guy tracked back, sprinted back in attack, sprinted back in defense, tackled, interceptions, holding onto the ball, creating chances. It was all there for him today. An amazing player, a little bit underrated. I remember him at Leipzig, I believe, when he was still coming up. I wanted him at Barcelona. His career has a little bit stagnated, I'll be honest. I expect a little more from him, but I mean, this game was sensational. Sancho, probably man of the match. Easily man of the match, actually. The amount of dribbles this guy completed, the amount of chances he created. I mean, he ended careers today. Mendes is still having nightmares. He held onto the ball when needed. He was smart. He wasn't just dribbling for the sake of dribbling. This is the Sancho before his United move. And I can't believe I wrote him off. After the first 2 years at United, I said, okay, this guy is non-professional. He's clearly in it for the money. We're not going to see Sancho become anything. He's moved to Dortmund, and listen, he gave up money to do it. Fair enough to him, because he's shining right now. I did not expect this. How bad does this look on Ten Hag? You're losing the dressing room at United, then Sancho does this in the Champions League semi-final. You may potentially be in a final, where United got knocked out by Copenhagen. Overall, the rest of Dortmund's defense was very good. I thought Hummels was amazing. Dortmund left back, I don't know his name, but he was very good too. The right back was good too. Literally everyone was good. The amount of defensive work I seen from Dortmund, tackles, interceptions, just driving into challenges, winning these 50-50s. I mean, it was just effort upon effort. And to look at that crowd, support them throughout the whole thing. I'm not a Dortmund fan, but just seeing that was amazing. Makes me want to be a Dortmund fan, to be honest. Just look at this stadium, man. There's so many angles of this. It's just amazing. If you're a player and you see this, you're just motivated. Now, it's important to know that there is a second leg, and the 1-0 win going to Paris is not the best result. For all the effort, for all their luck, it's still not necessarily finished. If anything, I think this is a decent result for PSG. They'll go back in Paris with their ultras, and they'll be confident in returning this deficit. They did it before with Neymar when he was there. They can easily do it again. This was a terrible performance, especially from the forward line. Dembele, I mean, he had a couple of chances, but generally he was very average, classic Dembele. I thought Barcola, okay, he was making good runs, I guess, but not really anything crazy. I thought the guy, hey, he got substituted for Colomani, though. He had a disaster class. I don't know how you can have a disaster class by only a few minutes on the pitch, but he did. Terrible signing. Remind me again, how much did they pay for this guy? I called it before even the World Cup happened in his legendary miss, or you want to say save, in the final. I don't know who this guy is, where he came from. Why is he worth the amount that he was worth? Why would you pay that amount for him? He has no track record. His season was good. It wasn't amazing. It was good. He was always a 30-40 million player. PSG got scammed, and to be honest, I am happy for it. Now, I'm going to talk about the big man, or, well, the little man today. There's a lot to talk about. Well, actually there isn't, but I'm going to talk about it. One shot on target. It was supposed, but 1 shot on target. Listen, I know he scored 2 goals against Barcelona, but that was 10-man Barca. It was near the end of the game where it was pretty much sealed. One of them was a penalty. Mbappe, you have not shown up for PSG in the Champions League in these knockouts. I'm not counting Real Sociedad, please. Real Sociedad is not even your places. They had injuries, they had terrible form. You better perform against Real Sociedad. I need a big game performance from him in Paris. I think he will do it. I think he will deliver it, especially considering that the final is next. Even if they do make the final and Mbappe doesn't show up in the semifinal, trust me, it's over because you're going to face Madrid and you're going to lose. So this is your moment to show up. And even if you show up, I'm going to be shameless and I'm going to say it's just Dortmund. It's Dortmund at home. So Mbappe, overrated. UCL campaign. He needs the Euros if he wants to win that Ballon d'Or. He started very well in League One. He won to League One. But if you want the Ballon d'Or, if you want the title of the best player in the world, you need to show up in these games consistently. The defenses you face were not amazing defenses. They were not solid defenses, and you have struggled to do so. Other than that, I thought Emery, Vitinha, they did their thing. Fabian Ruiz had so many good opportunities. He wasted a couple good headers. I don't know what these guys were doing. Today was both Luis Enrique and the Dortmund manager need to take both these sets of players and teach them how to hit the ball in, because clearly they lacked that this game. It was miss after miss after miss for both sides. It was hilarious to watch, to be honest. Again, I don't have chips in the game. I'd rather see Dortmund pass just because I hate PSG. But, it's just funny to see in general as a neutral. I thought the Dortmund goalkeeper, again, he's very underrated. Hey, this guy is not that bad. I thought he was another Dortmund random keeper, nobody. But listen, he's been all right. He had this little cool little moment where he shushed after he saved. I don't know who he was shushing. But yeah, I thought he gave me a little bit of Emi Martinez vibes. But now, for the second leg, listen, I'm going to say it straight up. I'm not going to waste time. I think PSG go through. Dortmund, for as good as they did, it was at home, and they only managed a 1-0 win. Away, I don't expect Dortmund to be bozo-free for 180 minutes. I don't. They didn't have any big mistakes this game. They're going to have one next game, in my opinion. It's Dortmund, after all. This is what they do when they're the favorites, when they're winning, when everything looks good. They always have a bozo moment. And I am not betting money on Dortmund going through the final. My prediction is Mbappe hat-trick. Next round, Dortmund get 1 or 2. I'm going to say 3-2 for the second leg. And it goes on extra time. In extra time, I can see another goal from each side happen. And then it goes to penalties. And in penalties, I think PSG, in front of their own fans, they take it home. This is meant to be Mbappe against Madrid in a final, and Mbappe will lose. Trust me, he will lose, but I'll talk about that when it happens. I don't see a UCL finals here in Dortmund. I think there's always an average team that somehow manages to get to the semis. They always get knocked down to the semis. Whether it's the Champions League, World Cup, there's always that one team. I think Dortmund is that team. And historically speaking, that team never gets to the final. I think that's what's going to happen here. But I dare Mbappe to lose to Dortmund in the Champions League semis. I will be there. Peace out, guys. Much love.